Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I don't have much I'm looking at this week. There's really not much going on. The put to call ratio right now is pretty high, but not like really high. It's at, oh god, stupid ads. It's at 0.60, so yeah, it's not really that high. So it's not an extreme level to be too cautious about, so just ignore that. Now, the economic calendar for the week, I was just looking at, there's nothing going on this week on the economic calendar. Nothing Monday, some Fed speakers, nothing on Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing. Wow, this week is really dead. Some Fed speakers, FOMC speakers throughout the day. Unemployment claims Thursday morning at 8:30. Fed speakers throughout the day, a lot more on Thursday. And Friday, flash PMI, services and marketing at 9:45 on Friday. So the only day with any numbers is Thursday and Friday, and then not really much. So I think it's going to be a quiet week. So we'll have to see what happens. Now I have SPY up. SPY, it's right at gap support right here. Well, it dipped underneath it, but it closed above it. So we got this big gap from elections to fill. So maybe we fill that this week. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But I would look at it from, be open-minded and look at both directions. Under 584, it's going to fill a gap down to 577. Sorry. And if we get over the 587, watch for a gap fill up to 593. We get gap support right here at 590. So we get a gap fill from 590 to 593. Then we get a gap fill down here, down to 577. So one of those gaps is going to fill this week. Maybe both of them. I mean, SPY's been so crazy lately. We could pop up to 593 and fill that gap, and then just dump the rest of the week and fill the gap. Or we could just dump and fill that gap and have a V rally and close the other gap. I mean, nothing is off the table with SPY. SPY can be completely nuts and crazy when it wants to be. So be open-minded about that. The VIX is at it's pretty low. I mean, it's at 16. It's at 16.14 right now. Popped up a little bit. So I'm thinking the new floor on VIX is going to be $12 to 11. I know, even though we have a green weekly candle, I'll blow that up a little bit. So maybe we pop and drop. We pop up the VIX down to up to 22 and go back down to 15 to possibly even 12. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But VIX has got room to dump down to 12, and the reason I'm saying 12 is because when Trump was in office last time, VIX's floor was 11 to 12. So I'm going to assume that that's going to be the new floor on VIX. So that's why I'm sticking with those numbers. I'm just going to stick with those numbers. But I mean, right now, I mean, the low is under 14, but I still think we go to 12. So this week, I have no idea what SPY is going to do this week. It's going to be interesting to see. We'll just take it based on what happens overnight. And a lot of the stocks, a lot of the big blue chip stocks are going to let you trade overnight, 24/5. We'll have to see if that has any effect on the market. I don't think so. Not too many people want to trade all day and all night. People with real money, they're going to end up just trading during the day and or swinging. They're not going to sit there and trade all day and all night. I mean, there's going to be no volume at night. So I don't know if the options market will be available 24/5 on these blue chip stocks. Not sure. Be interesting to see if they are, but I don't think they are. I looked and I didn't see that they were. But SPY, you can trade overnight on no, it's SPX. SPX you can trade 24/5 with the right broker. Maybe you can on SPY. I don't know. To me, I'm not trading outside 9 to 4. 9 to 4. That's all I'm trading. I'm not trading anymore. There's more to life than trading all the time. So if you can't make your money in those from 94, then you should not be trading all night too. It just, to me, it just seems foolish and stupid. Not unless you have no life and you just are a greedy pig and just want to trade all the time. That's you. I'm not doing that. So VIX, I already covered VIX. Now the only few stocks I'm looking at is Meta. Meta, I mean, it's kind of like a megaphone right here. You get the low right here and the high right here. So we'll have to see if it bounces off. It bounces off the 551 area. So if it does seem to bounce, I'd watch it over 557 for a push to 570, 575. But if it does manage to lose this 550 area, we could fill that gap right here, which is very, very tiny, and drop down to the 540 area. We got lots of support right here. So we could see it drop to 540 on that. So Meta could go either way, but I'm kind of looking at this megaphone right here that we could possibly bounce and get up to 600. I don't know. We'll have to see. Microsoft is another one. The weekly, it's still in the head and shoulders on the weekly. Gets underneath 400 or even 405 right here. 405, push to 400. And gets under 400. We're probably going to see this 385 area or even 380 on that. Usually these big weekly head and shoulders, they end up playing out. The question is, could it play out this week? Could it play out next month? Could it play out in 6 months? We don't know. So that's the only thing about these weekly patterns, that they could take weeks, months to even play out. So Microsoft, head and shoulders is still there. NVIDIA, now NVIDIA did pull back a little bit on Friday, but it doesn't really like to pull back too much. So it did close above the 20 EMA on the daily. So we'll have to see if it bounces. So I would watch it over Friday's high. Well, actually right over 143 for a push to 144, 145, and possibly 148 to 150. I mean, 150 hasn't been hit yet, but it gets over this congested area of 149. We could see 150, 160 on NVIDIA. But we could also see it drop down to the 135. But I'd only be concerned if it popping and breaking 150 and having a strong run. Now Netflix is the other one. They had that fight on Friday, which had a bunch of record numbers for Netflix, and a lot of hype with that. And, but they also had a lot of issues with buffering, and it buffered a lot. I saw a lot of people complaining about it. I don't think they were very prepared for the event, or at least not the volume it produced, and didn't plan it very well. And but you know, anytime it started the buffer, I just backed out and rejoined it, and it cured it right away. Because if you sat there and waited for the buffer, you could have been waiting 10-15 minutes and missed some good highlights or whatever. So I immediately backed out and went back into live, and it fixed it every single time, and I didn't lose more than probably 5 or 10 seconds doing that versus waiting for it to buffer 5 or 10 minutes, which I've seen people do. But we'll have to see what impact it has on Netflix, the fight. They had a lot of hype behind it, a lot of record numbers, but a lot of people were not happy about it. So maybe I would watch it underneath 816 for push down to 800. I mean, it's pretty overextended. It was 80 on the daily. It's 75 on the weekly. So a good pullback to 800 probably could be on the cards for Netflix. So we'll have to see how it reacts to everything. And Netflix is opening 24/5. So I'm going to assume that it's going to open at 6 like the futures market and trade all until 4. So I'm thinking 6 to 4. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. That's basically what I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. No, the aftermarket hours are all the way to 8. So maybe it's going to be a full 24 hours. So maybe it does go full 24. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that. But anyways, that's going to do it for the watch list. And thanks for watching.